Hello? All right. What did you want to
Okay.
talk about?
Yeah, all right. So I should preface this by saying I'm not a big fan of well, I'm a fan, but I'm also not a fan. I think he's a really intelligent dude, and he has interesting things to say about Marxism and stuff that are very different than most people. In regards to like how he decides to like say it out loud and shit, like I'm not into whatever. And it's fine if you guys disagree. I don't kind of give a shit. Anyways, um, I just wanted to put in a little info about like why he's ever reacting the way that he's reacting. So like
Hold on.
one thing
Just to be clear, though, why does this matter?
why does it matter?
Yeah, why does this
Context
info
always
matter?
matters,
What's
doesn't
the
it?
no? What's the point of the context? What do you think the context adds to the conversation?
It gives people a bit more information to realize that he's not reacting just simply to people calling him a virgin.
I don't think anybody's making that claim.
What's the claim that people are making?
The claim that people are making is that part of the reason why he got triggered the first 30 minutes of this was over being called a virgin and Zerka's unwillingness to be able to do it. He then later extrapolated that it was more than just that, which is like what his substantiation for his claim about harassment. Okay? So we're not talking about just his claim about general harassment and that all of his harassment on this platform has come from that. He named my name when he was talking about harassment, and all I do is sit here and make fun of the fact that he's a genocide denying hack. That's all I do on my channel. And I'm going to keep doing that over and over again because that's what he is, right? I fully believe that, right? And there's a lot of fucking evidence to show that and to prove that. And so that's what I do, and I don't consider that harassment and what have you. So he's coupling in rightful criticism as harassment, and that's fine. He can do that. But what I'm mainly critiquing is this idea that Zerka was way out of line for not banning everybody in his chat that was calling him a virgin. This is incredibly normal, natural, benign shit to happen. And if you don't want that to happen, or if he didn't want that to happen, as I stated previously, he should have talked to Zerka instead of, like he said, not talking to Zerka, just leaving and then shitting on Zerka for not banning people for calling him a fucking virgin.
All right. In regards to this particular situation, the way he's reacting is just weird. Obviously, like being called a virgin is like the most like normal insult that guys throw at each other like all the fucking time. But in terms of like, I just wanted to sort of, I don't know about the streamer shit and what like interaction he's having with you guys and shit. And I like, to me, it doesn't matter. It's all fair game when you're talking when you're online. But then the thing is sort of it's important to again understand his particular context in regards to chat. Because from what I understand, and I don't follow him crazy, but like what I understand was that he's like regularly gets stalked in his previous Discord. He has like mods that were like old mods that pretended to be like, you know, totally into him and shit for like months and months on end, and then eventually like kind of betrayed him, and you know try to screw him over. They end
Sure.
up interacting with like you know
That's
quote
pretty
unquote
bad.
like enemy streamers and Twitch people or Twitter people he gets in beef with that you know touring to like fuck him over and shit.
Yeah.
So he's sort of just reacting to all of that, and then he also kind of says, and he says it in the thing that at some point even those kind of people are like in Zerka's chat. They kind of like migrated there in order to
Yeah,
like
he said all of
stir
this
up
on his
the
stream. Yeah, in the video that we watched.
yeah. Like you're absolutely right in the sense that again, like compare this to what other people go through, and it's like literally not like
Well,
comparable.
no,
Like
it's
people
not. It's
getting
the problem
swatted
is
and shit, but
I'm usually against comparing other people's suffering to another person's suffering. I think it's the most childish shit in the world. The problem, however, the problem is what did he lead his suffering with? I'm the person that gets the most shit on this platform, and then people are like, you know, women get it quite a bit. And he said, no woman gets as much as me. And then he said, Destiny doesn't get as much. So he's already going out of his way to preface this by saying, nobody's as oppressed as me. So, like, how am I supposed to react to that? Oh, yeah, you're right. No woman ever gets as much harassment as you, infrared.
I mean, you know, call him out and say that's stupid, but at the same time, like, don't be surprised that he's sort of like reacting the way that he is.
I'm not
Considering, right?
surprised. I'm not surprised.
Right?
I don't think anybody here. I mean, maybe people here might think I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. This is perfectly in line with his behavior. It's been perfectly in line with his behavior. This is how he's going to react.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like again, the context of the whole chat thing, right? And again, for his particular situation, right? Because yeah, you're right. Like comparing him to other people is just dumb. Even though there is an element of him having to like realize that whenever you bring out yourself on the internet, just like inevitably, like the guy was like freaking debating fascists literally like on Sunday, and you know that there would be coming after him like and probably already have. But like, so he has to learn to get used to that. But at the same time, it's I think it's important whenever we're sort of like doing things like, for instance, just watching him go through like an online mental breakdown and then like kind of laughing at it.
Hold
sort
on.
Of like,
What makes you think this is a mental breakdown?
honestly, he reminds me of me just a year ago, like being pretty suppressed and shit.
That's okay. I'm still waiting for what makes it overt mental breakdown. Because I can literally show you. I mean, you can literally look at his last stream. This is him.
No.
This is his. This is textbook infrared. So I mean, hold on. If you hold on, maybe you can make the argument. He's always having a mental breakdown. You could make that argument. I could be more amicable to that. He's 24/7 having a mental breakdown. But and I'm not memeing. Like you could make that argument if that's something you want. This is everyday infrared, though. This is everyday infrared.
No, I watch his shit.
Yeah,
I know that. He does that all the time.
So then,
But
how
here's
is
the
this
thing.
overtly a mental breakdown?
Because it's mixed with it. Like the thing is with him, and this is sort of why I try to say in his Discord before, and then I got banned. And I never been on online community, so that was the first time, and it was really weird. But anyways, like he, you know, he plays a character, but then the character is also mixed within his own like actual emotions. So it's hard to sort of see when he's playing the character, and then when he's actually like feeling a certain type of way about whatever. And so maybe because I watch way too much of this guy, it seems kind of clear, especially because he takes these long pauses during this rant. And you know, you could tell he's like quite emotional.
Hold on.
Like,
what is him having to play a character have to do with anything?
No. I'm trying to sort of explain that, like, you know, the way that he because you're saying like, oh, you know, this isn't unique. Him freaking out in front of the camera, like that's
the way
shit,
way that he was doing it. Yeah. So there's no
yes,
overt
but it's important
thing
to
for us to
understand,
be able
like,
to...
and I think you have to like watch him a lot to even notice this. But there's a difference between him like playing the character of being like the typical quote unquote alpha male as he tries to like dominate over all these different political streams, and then him being like literally almost
like this, where he's
expressing
trying to
it in emotion.
no,
like he's actually like
no, he's doing the exact same thing. He's doing the exact same thing. He's trying to express dominance over other people by saying, yeah, I'm more oppressed than other people. Nobody's more oppressed than me. The amount of hate that I get.
You think this is like dominance thing now?
Yeah.
Nah,
wait, yes, wait. Okay,
this is like his adult version of it.
Wait, what do you think virtue signaling is? And like oppression Olympics, what do you think that is?
You think he's doing oppression Olympics right now?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What do you call the process of saying nobody's as oppressed as me, and going through the gauntlet of everybody online and saying that they don't have it as hard as you, and like
him just expressing that emotion at that moment? Like it's not like, because when you say oppression Olympics, I'm thinking like someone purposely using identity politics in order to get ahead in like Twitch or whatever. I'm not thinking of someone who's just like
what do you think?
And saying stupid things that are probably, when they think back to it, it's kind of dumb. Like I'm pretty sure he's thinking about it right now and thinking that was kind of stupid. E-girls probably get it worse than I do.
Supporter.
Do you want to have a bet of that? That like whether or not he's going to come back and say, yeah, all of these e-girls on Jonzherka's stream and Destiny have it harder than me? Do you want to have a bet of that?
I don't know whether he's gonna say it out loud, but I'm pretty sure right now when he's like on his bed, just like thinking about what he just said out loud.
Okay, hold on. I don't give a fuck about what he does off the fucking screen, okay? You can speculate. I don't know if that's what you do in your free time, or you can speculate whatever the fuck you want to, okay? I'm gonna deal with the person that I see on the screen, okay? I'm not gonna speculate about any of that nonsense, all right?
Doesn't it feel weird to you? I mean, I'm new to Twitch and everything ever since COVID started. Isn't it weird to like look at a guy as he's like, and honestly, he's just freaking out. It's kind of obvious. And then like you're kind of like laughing as he's like clearly freaking out over whatever thing that he's dealing with. You know what I mean? Because clearly he's like struggling with something internal to himself.
Of course.
Like, you know, like he's going like, oh, you know, I'm you know, alone because I choose to. No one chooses to be alone. We're social creatures.
I literally do. Most of my chat does. What do you mean? Of course. Wait, are you
guys,
joking? I can't tell. Are you memeing right now? Are you
joking?
Friends at all? I think the second period
IRL friends, zero.
Back to class.
I never hang out with people.
Wait
okay, you know what? You're right. You know me better than I do. No, you're right. I'll submit to you. You know me better than I do. You're right. Okay. No, you're totally. Yeah, no, you're totally right. You're totally right. You're totally right. You know me better than I do. So I'll submit to that. You want to move into the next? No, you do. No, you do. You got it.
Listen. Shush. I believe you that you're saying that you don't like have any friends IRL. Fine. it is a normal human thing to want friends and to want love and to want to experience these
But
things.
it's also a normal thing for people to feel perfectly fine being alone. And especially amongst like streamer fucking goblins, okay? So him saying that he's perfectly fine with being alone, you could read into that and say, oh, it's a cope, he's coping and shit like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But don't expect other people to read their minds about this shit, and especially when that falls perfectly in line with his rhetoric. All right, his rhetoric is perfectly in line with I'm the Sigma, I can do this shit alone, and all that shit. Okay?
I know. I think this is why, like, every time I listen to him, I feel like, yeah, men are actually from Mars, because I don't get it at all. But I do think people actually do need, like, connections, human connections. It's whenever people say to me, oh, I could live just fine without it, I feel like you actually are.
Well, no. There's a difference between no IRL friends and no human connections. Those are big differences. You understand that, right?
If you think online relationships can somehow replace them.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, in many ways, yeah, many of them can.
I can't like touch you or anything. I don't even know what you look like, and then suddenly I could replace you with an IRL.
Wait, hold on. No. First off, online relationships, absolutely. Like you can see people first off and foremost, but second of all,
you can make the choice. But a lot of times people are like have an anonymous.
Okay, listen, that's perfectly fine. All right, but you need to be more specific, okay? When you're talking about online relationships, I wouldn't disagree. They have a significantly lower chance of being like fruitful when it comes to fulfilling social relationships. But every single friendship that I have is online, except for the one that I have now with my girlfriend. That's it, right? Prior to this, all of them were online.
Are these like streamers that you meet up with at like TwitchCon or whatever they call it?
No, I've never been to TwitchCon in my life.
I don't know. Maybe you're a different breed than me. I don't know.
It's not a different breed. It's just that people can be friends over a different medium. That's something that people can do. And not everybody needs to be. Okay, listen, I don't know. I've spent my entire life trying to avoid people that are like fucking constantly going out and hanging out with friends, okay? And I know there's many people that are the exact same way. NEETs are on the rise. NEET gamers rise up. That's all I'm saying, okay? Like this idea that like I don't know.
I don't know. I used to believe that myself, and then I'm like, no, I need like real connections and shit. But anyways, I think that he's kind of trying to replace his chat and his online sphere.
You're doing the Dr. K bit. I'm not gonna fucking psychoanalyze this dude, okay? I'm gonna take him at face value. What is he saying? What is he communicating to me? And what can I do with that communication?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fucking sit here and try and psychoanalyze him and try and figure out, well, you see, offline when he's not streaming, he's probably laying in his bed thinking, man, those women do get more. Like you just said. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking do that shit.
Yeah, that's a me thing. I'm a viewer. This is what I enjoy when watching Twitch people. But like in regards to your case, you're saying, okay, I'm gonna just take him at face value. You don't just focus on the words though.
I'm not just focusing on the words. I'm focusing on his behaviors, which is perfectly in line with all of his other behaviors.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you tell me what happened? Yeah. What happened, right? Last time he was called out by, let's say, me, for being somebody that propagates cultural genocide of the Uyghur Muslims. What do you think? What do you think?
I follow you guys that much?
You said you were a viewer, so
I do view him. I did. I started watching him about 2 months ago.
What happened was he went off and started fucking screaming for 30 minutes, right? Screaming about me. Fucking took to Twitter, started fucking tweeting about me, and for some reason I can't see his fucking tweets on my timeline. So if anybody in chat sees his tweets at me, just fucking let me know.
That okay. He is freaking out.
So all of this shit's perfectly in line with his behavior. He got big mad that Jonzherka did some fucking shit, and he decided to complain about it. And he's using also trying to weaponize like me calling him out on his bullshit as like harassment and shit like that, when it just isn't. I'm just criticizing him and making fun of the fact that he's genuinely propagating a cultural genocide of an entire group of people.
Okay. So everything's just about the cultural genocide bit, eh?
No, not everything is just about that. No, even without the cultural genocide bit, I think that these things could be questionable.
Yeah. I mean, I think Twitch people in general can have questionable behavior, but I don't know. I feel like you have to, like, sit down and see like the context and everything like that, and also like his behavior. And I think
So
maybe
what do you think that context changes? I'll go back to the very first question I asked you. What
well,
do you think
hate,
what
you
you've
hate me
added?
psychoanalyzing people, so maybe that's
No,
you know
I'm
what I mean?
saying do you not think that you're reading a little bit deep in when you unironically said to me that he's probably
my
sitting
tendency,
in
though.
his bed thinking that like come on, dude. And when his behavior is perfectly in line with all of his other behavior that he's shown on stream, we can go through hours and hours of his content. This is just him doing his typical. We can watch his coverage of Hassan when he's screaming for 6 hours about his fucking house. Listen, I was too, okay? I was screaming about his house for like 6 hours too. Somebody comes through, talks about shit like, right. But this is perfectly in line with his behavior. I've seen nothing that overtly tells me that this man is having a mental breakdown and that I need to not cover him because of a moral and ethical imperative, okay? It just seems like he got mad that Jonzherka didn't ban people in his chat for literally calling him fucking virgins.
I think he just don't care. I think he just like you see the context, right? Like he's a lonely dude, and he's just
No, I have yet to. Hold on. I've yet to see the argument that he has done anything about this perceived loneliness that we're attributing to him. He says that he's not making friends by choice. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, people say that, but then it's like
Okay,
not
so
true.
this is where we get back into the psych and like
If
okay.
you go at the end of the thing, if you go at the end of the thing, he literally goes on and says, "Oh, I'm not human. I'm just different," you know, like doomer type of shit. And it's like, well, I mean, usually when boys get into that kind of like language, that means that they're going through some shit. Anyways, you don't
So
like
hold on. So you think? Hold on. I'm actually curious.
You don't care.
Hold on. Do you think everybody in the manosphere we should treat this way as well? Because they all say that exact same thing. Everybody that's like, yeah, you know what? Women should just return to traditional values, cover up, and stop like wearing a bunch of shit outside. I should be able to fuck as many women inside of a relationship.
When did he go on saying that?
No. What I'm asking you is that that same reasoning that you just used. Oh, you said whenever men talk about like, yeah, I'm built different and shit like this, they're usually hurting. Hold on. That's what you said.
Ideas and go after the statements, right? So the guy that goes and says, "Oh, I think that women should like stay in the kitchen." Then you go after the fact that he just said the women should stay in the kitchen. But when he's just talking about and freaking out over this like really stupid shit, I don't know. It just feels weird to get like content out of just like making fun of a dude for just freaking out over something because he has his own stupid shit to go through. You know what I mean?
I'm not making fun of some dude just for going through his own stupid shit. All right, I'm making fun of a dude. And I would say I'm only making fun of him in one specific aspect. Well, actually two specific aspects. One specific aspect, I'm making fun of him for saying that like he's getting unique harassment out of this thing, and he's uniquely handling the disrespect that these women. Didn't he lead with literally saying that these women have no dignity? And that's the reason why they put up.
The guy talks as if he's like an alpha male,
right?
Like,
and so, and what you're expecting me? Well, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Infrared, just call say that these women have no dignity. They have no all this shit. Yeah, no, go slay
Holy
king.
Shit.
Like,
I said you could talk.
Hold on. What arguments have I made that are not attacking his statements? Go.
No, you just like laughing at him over freaking out of being called a virgin. Now, if you're going after him over the whole, like, him saying that he's, like, you know, going through, like, woe's me, I am not a human, I'm lone wolf, like, doomer shit, then, like, you know, it's weird. But if you're going after him for the Chinese thing, e-girls...
Wait, no, hold on. Just to be clear, you think it's weird that I'm making fun of a dude that's trying to say, woe is me, I catch so much harassment being called a virgin in chat, but these women let people walk all over them. You think that that's, like... you know what? I shouldn't. Yeah, that's too far. Me making fun of this guy saying that, like, oh, I'm so.
Go after the woman shit. It's easy to compartmentalize.
Wait, no. Listen. Okay. I think in general, this is a principle. Maybe we're going to disagree on this. If you're going to be online, you should be able to handle being called a virgin. Do you disagree?
No. I mean, if he's getting thrown like shit about being Arab, then he should like deal with it. You know what I mean? Like.
Wait. Okay. So that's been my point. What has been inconsistent with the point that he should probably be able to take being called a virgin online and my reference to the fucking schnoz, literal physical characteristics being made fun of XQC and other streamers taking it when he's talking about how no streamer takes this kind of abuse and shit like this when he was just called a virgin.
You know what? Maybe I'm just different. I don't know. I just feel sort of weird to like pick apart and like make fun, whatever. But Like, again, like in my head, I think you could compartmentalize and all that shit. But I just want to provide the context. Actually, primarily, like I actually don't give a shit if you on with this.
Sure.
But
can you rationalize for me in a premise like way, like lay out the premises for why you think it is bad for me to laugh at a person who's complaining about being called a virgin and saying simultaneously that women don't receive the level of harassment that he has, while also saying that nobody on the platform receives the level of harassment that he has, and saying that these women sacrifice their dignity to be on these platforms, and he's going to stand above that and not sacrifice his dignity when it's literally in the context of him being called a virgin and another dude not stopping it. Can you tell me why that's like where did I go wrong?
We're adding more and more and more to that when I just said you could just try to divide.
No, hold on, no. I didn't. All of that he said. So I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, he says shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So what makes it bad for me to laugh at that?
Okay, so you don't want me to do the divvying up of doomer shit alongside e-girl comments.
No, yeah. I was precisely okay. I want to then. If you want to couple them, when did I make fun of his depression?
Well, you said he kind of didn't care when people in chat were telling you that he openly said that he was depressed.
What was what was supposed to be my response?
You know, like whatever he's going through this shit, but he shouldn't be saying this, that, or whatever. You know what I mean?
You quoted me. You literally quoted me. You realize that, right? Have you not been, were you not watching me? It sucks that he's going through this depression, but in relation to the virgin comments, I just don't care. I can make the comments about the virgin shit while he's depressed, all right? That doesn't change the shit that, like, hey, we should be...
still laughing at the virgin shit, bro.
I don't know. Okay, so cool. We can never. So what? If somebody's depressed, we can. So wait, hold on. I actually want to know if Richard Spencer is depressed. Can I no? Actually, unironically, if Richard Spencer is depressed and is making fun of like Jewish people, can I laugh at him for being a hypocrite? Not for being depressed, but for being a hypocrite, as in like saying that like he's complaining about taking a bunch of retaliation online while also making fun of like Jewish people.
Okay.
Can I laugh at that? Just yes or no?
You know what? Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's sort of because the China thing I haven't steeped into my views on that because everyone keeps moving the goalposts on that. So that's a whole debate that I need to.
Okay. Here's the goalpost. Is there a cultural genocide?
Jewish thing is like, yeah.
Okay, so then we can change the analogy if you'd like. All right, could I make fun of Richard Spencer, who is depressed, for saying that, like, hey, you know, women don't catch as much shit in society as men, and he's complaining about being called a virgin? Do you think maybe that's something I could laugh about even though he's depressed?
You know what, internet culture, just like let it be. But for me, I actually would divide the two. I don't know why, I'm fucking weird. But I would go after the anti-Jewish comments, but then if he was hella depressed, again, you could do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. It's sort of like
Okay,
yeah.
so do you? We can try a different method. Do you understand why I do not think it's a big deal when somebody is minimizing the amount of harassment that women are facing, the harassment that other streamers are facing, and minimizing all of these other people who, by and large, have like, I don't want to say systemic because it's technically not an institution, but a like categorically higher rate of depression, and saying that you catch more shit than them, and that you're depressed, and that like.
Bro, when you're depressed, you say stupid shit all the time.
Okay,
but anyways,
that's not an excuse to say the stupid shit, though. We wouldn't give that even to like people with full-on mental illness, okay? Just because you like, let's say you have autism, that doesn't mean that you can like go around sexually harassing people, okay? Yeah, we agree on that, right?
We're saying stupid statements, not like physical actions, though. If someone's like,
no, sexual harassment can be
really
vocal. Sexual harassment can be vocal, right? When it's physical, it usually dubs into sexual assault. All right, just because you have autism isn't an excuse to be able to sexually harass people. We can both agree on that, right? So, like, I think somebody being depressed isn't really a good reason to be, like, either downplaying the depression and the treatment and mistreatment of women on the platform. I don't think these are excuses. Nor is it an excuse to literally ironically say that you being called a virgin as a man is more hurtful than women, like, getting slut-shamed on this platform.
Bro,
kind of weird.
It's a dumb statement, but I wanted to throw in there. How do you feel then about, like, far-right people kind of getting the whole psychoanalyst treatment in, like, Vice and those places?
What do you mean?
Incels, far-right people, usually there's always, like, documentaries and articles about whatever sort of potential mental health issues they have that led them towards these kind of
that's a broader systemic analysis. When we're talking about psychoanalyzing, we're not talking about broader systemic analysis. We're talking about Hassan Abi is clearly some dude that's like a coomer, and that's the only reason why he's doing any of this. It's because he has like 82.8% higher rates of testosterone. That's why all he wants to do is fuck. That's why he bought that pool so that way he can fuck. Like, this is getting fucking weird, okay? Or talking about how Destiny is clearly a sociopath or a fucking psychopath, and here I have the fucking articles online from Psychology Today to prove it. That's fucking weird, okay? But when we're talking about broader systemic analysis of certain people, 100%. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Obviously, I encourage that. We have to know why these people, like, for instance, if we wanted to do a broader systemic, if you came in here and tried to, instead of state to me a psychoanalyst, analytic take towards infrared, if you instead came to me and said, hey, let's talk about the broader psychology that brings Marxist-Leninists to their conclusions in the first place. That then we could have a discussion about. I think it would be pretty inappropriate given the context, though, because we would be like using him as a proxy. We're going to talk about Marxist-Leninists, but everybody would interpret it as us talking about him. So we need to do it in a separate context, but yeah, I have no problem doing that.
Okay, I don't see how much of a difference it would be doing that to him personally, while also doing it to people of his particular political
So allow me to establish why, right? So let's take an incel, for example, right? We could use incel ideology. A lot of them predominantly are probably going to have gotten burnt on by women, either rejected frivolously or what have you, feel rejected by them in some way, shape, or form. And they also probably are disproportionately going to feel lonely or isolated, right? Or what have you. Do you think that this is probably a little bit different than me looking at a video of an incel that's like clearly like on the fucking cusp of like his last couple days, like fucking distraught and shit like this, and I go, yeah, you know what, this guy, he's clearly been rejected by 15 women, he's clearly been like beaten down and isolated and shit like that, he's clearly bitter about his treatment as a result of how women. It's like, no, I don't know this individual person. When we talk about broader systemic analysis, we're going to talk about the things that bring people generally to a specific position. I don't know this individual's specific circumstance. Not everybody is some collective pot that we can throw them into, but we can't also throw away a broader scope or a broader view of why people cling to certain ideas over other ideas. We can't throw that away or reject that either.
Okay, so you don't want to get a particular, because of course that particular person has like, there's a whole host of things that
Unwavering purpose.
Yeah, so
are irrelevant.
Yeah, let's assume this. Let's assume a hypothetical, and I can illustrate why. Let's assume that there was an 80% compatibility rate with being a Marxist-Leninist and being a pedophile. Do you think it would be okay for me to say that infrared has an 80% chance of being a pedophile?
I mean, if it was that dominant, holy shit. But no.
Yeah, okay. So I should probably have a little bit more information before I make such a claim. Right, so when we're talking about individuals within a system, we got to be a little bit more careful about these things. Otherwise, I can attribute things to an individual that I have no rightful place to be able to do, right? Only a psychologist would have to be able to do it.
The thing is, like, I only started watching Twitch streams, like, basically when COVID hit. And I think I sort of probably might have developed a bit of a prior social relationship with the guy, even though he banned me. So then I guess I'm kind of done with it. But, I don't know. I feel like it's this stream was particularly different than his other ones, and I think it's just an emotional thing. I have no clue how to explain it. But hey, I mean, look, it's the internet. You have the rights to like shut on him for literally anything. So go right ahead on it. I actually enjoyed
Do you,
a bit
hold
of it
on,
when you were
yeah,
watching.
do you think it's wild to shit on somebody? All right, I'm just gonna ask if you think it's reasonable. Okay, I'm not asking if you agree with me. Do you think it's reasonable for me to make fun of a person that's going online, who says that they receive a crazy amount of harassment, or like, let's start with piece by piece, making fun of a guy that's saying that his friend betrayed him because he didn't ban everybody in his chat room that was calling him a virgin? Do you think that's probably something that we could probably laugh
This
at?
instant, honestly, is actually like fair game. I mean, I watched the
Okay.
stream and stuff, and I was like, wow, I don't know why he responded the way that he did.
Okay, sure. All right, and I I don't, and so I don't want to make any broader psych Andy analysis with like why he might have done that. I'm not interested in doing that. I think people fuck that up a lot, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat him with the agency that I would treat anybody, which is he's choosing to do these things. Okay, until I hear otherwise. Right? Until I hear otherwise. Right? He's talking about how
whatever the fuck you want, man. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
hold on. I'm just talking about whether or not you think it's reasonable, because that's what I'm trying to get at right now. It seems like I'm not going to change your opinion on any of that other shit. So I just want to understand from you if you think it's reasonable. Right? Do you think all of the things that I've done is reasonable?
Yeah, I haven't said anything crazy, to be honest.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, was that it?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I guess, I don't know. I think people should try to watch his earlier streams and stuff. I think he's a really genuinely intelligent dude that has interesting things to say.
Okay, what do you think he's intelligent on?
He knows. He's the same age as me, but he's read a lot of shit. Holy crap.
Do you think maybe
philosophy and
okay?
Like,
can you name me anything that you think that he's read? Anything?
I think he's read all of Marx, literally. I think he.
What do you think is all of Marx?
The completed works of Marx. What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you think all of that is? If you had to guess, like
literally,
how
like articles and like the Das Kapital and like German ideology and all these sort of things.
What brings you to that conclusion?
This is why people really need to watch his earlier streams, because like I'm a bit.
Trust me, I've watched him debate actual Marxists. So
there's the debates, and then there's also like he used to do like these early lecture streams, and they were so interesting. Because the thing is like he's not just like a Marxist in which he takes it as like a dogma, like a Muslim would, but like he literally presents it in a heterodox way.
Would? What are you talking about?
Like you know, like a religion, like you know, like you have the Quran, and then you like beat out the Quran, and like you know it left or right and all. He has a heterodox approach.
Wait, I don't know why you're targeting Muslims specifically for that.
Don't worry, I am one guy.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, listen, it doesn't matter if you're like a Muslim. You can still say some weird shit about Muslims.
Well, okay, I'm talking about like religion in general. You know how people they take in a dogma and then they believe in that dogma and they like just regurgitate whatever they've been taught.
Yeah,
right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of Marxists are basically, honestly, just secular Muslims in a weird sense, or Christians or whoever. I don't care. It's like for them. It's like a dogma in which they believe in like wholeheartedly, and like they just regurgitate. And the way they debate is like literally just repeating whatever Marx said. This guy actually has like. He actually provides interesting, different analysis on works that have been reread like multitude of times. He's read Lacan, he's read, Franz Fanon, and all these sorts of. Just, no, honestly.
So from your opinion, how do you know he's read any of these?
Because he knows his shit.
Okay,
I read some of them myself as well.
So this is a very important question for verification of information. If you have not read the text, how do you know somebody who's talking about the text have read the text?
Wait a second. So you're telling me that if you listen to a lecture of a person who gives
I'm just asking
details
you
about like what someone says, that you can't just make the assumption that they know what they're talking about?
Yeah. So
also, I am
there's
slightly
cross
familiar with the words that
verification.
he's talking about as well. So it's like usually it's like a repeat in my own head whenever he's mentions.
Yeah. So there's a very common thing. How do you know that somebody's actually read something or is interpreting it well if you haven't read it yourself? This is a very common problem on the left right now. So what will happen is somebody Lance from the Serfs will come through saying an article says X, Y, and Z, and he's just read the headline. So what I'm asking is, how do you know?
Guys, though, but here's the thing. I haven't read all of Marx, of course, so maybe he's lying to me about what German ideology says or something. But I've read enough. I've literally done courses, right, that I have a general decent sense of like what the arguments are. And from that, I understand that he's actually right on the basics, and then he moves forward on that. Now, when he mentions Lacan and all these sort of French philosophers, hell, I never read them. Maybe he's lying out of his ass about it. But the fact that I'm telling you, if you're very familiar with these sort of political philosophies, he does approach them in
so
an
then can I
interesting way.
ask you
And
why?
he has these hot takes.
Sure,
The
sure.
hot takes are very interesting.
Then can I ask you why, like, actual philosophers who are studying, or like PhD level philosophers, disagree with him so adamantly on his reading of this scripture?
You talking about the
Perspective
what's his name?
philosophy
Howell?
and Rem.
Yeah. Look at Rem's debate. They literally were like discussing really heavy topics on philosophy, and they were actually kind of matched with each other in terms of their understanding of these things. I think Rem would honestly agree with me on the fact that he is very.
He definitely would not.
Progressive philosophy actually said this during a debate, like during his debate. It's like, yo, you're actually like way really educated on this stuff for a guy who actually hasn't had like formal education on this shit. And they were debating Hegel. You know what I mean?
Could I see that? Could you see that? Because I looked through quite a bit of that, and it seemed like it was the exact opposite vibe from perspective philosophy.
I think he disagrees with him, but I have to.
When I watched it, there was at least 6 times that he was like, "No, you're literally like not using that term correctly, entirely."
But for sure, they disagreed with each other on like very important points. But he did. I am sure that I saw this during his debate with him.
Okay.
Or maybe it was like
I'll take your word for it.
Flipping during like the talk or whatever, like, right? But he was like, yeah, like compared to most people, he knows way more about Hegel than others. Compared to a PhD philosopher, maybe then, like, of course, he would be out of his depth. Who knows? I have no clue. I don't read a lot of philosophy to even.
Yeah.
be
So
able to
like,
assess that.
this is that's why I asked you the question, right? If you haven't read this, how do you know he's doing it accurately? And typically, this is what us political streamers talk about.
Okay, no, it's not about accuracy. It's about actually, like, the hot takes that he makes are actually very intellectually interesting hot takes. Now, if
So
he's
it's-
incorrect about interpreting this philosopher, that philosopher, then people can get into debate on that.
So
But-
that's what I was about to say. It's
but
more
he is-
about
he
rhetoric.
is a knowledgeable
Okay, it's
dude.
more about whether or not
No,
you're
no, 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 no,
engaged
no,
with
no,
it.
no, no.
Hold on.
No, he is a knowledgeable dude. Sorry,
you-
I don't know
you-
whether I gave that kind of impression, but he is a knowledgeable dude for sure. It's just that, whenever we get into the weeds of this kind of stuff about what Hegel's fucking hard. Like, if you're gonna get into the weeds of that,
I
then
agree
yeah,
Hegel's
people are gonna
hard, and
disagree
it
with each
seems
other,
like
right?
a lot of people seem to agree with the idea that he doesn't really have the level of understanding of Hegel he seems to claim he has.
Yeah. Like, what was I gonna say? I'm saying that he's a lot more smarter than most, and I don't think that he's like to me, Vaush honestly doesn't read at all, and that he's very good at rhetoric. Honestly, I think Haas actually has a philosophy and a belief system, and then he's whenever he makes the hot takes, he's like consistent about
I'd
it.
highly recommend you rewatch the conversation with Oz and Rem. Highly recommend you rewatch that.
You actually think that? Wait, what did he show in? Because I watched it. What did he show?
What do you mean? Like, where did I feel like he was lacking?
Not lacking in terms of knowledge, but like where exactly was he? Because I was saying that he's not like Vaush in the sense that he has like a philosophy and a belief system and stuff, that he's consistent with his hot takes. You're saying that he's inconsistent?
I'd say he's just about as consistent as Vaush.
No.
Yeah.
Vaush is so all over the place. It's so annoying.
Can you explain to me why? Like, why you think that?
I mean, he calls himself an anarchist, and he has the most like liberal takes all the time. I mean, the guy goes on and says that like leaving Afghanistan would be a mistake, which like any anarchist would be like, what the fuck are you on about?
Wait,
Then
since when
also-
did he say leaving Afghanistan was a mistake?
There's a clip of him on Twitter. Please don't make me try to search for it. I'm not that.
Okay, well,
you know,
why are we taking a clip off of Twitter?
What? That's what he said.
In a clip on Twitter.
It's a minute clip. I mean, okay, go on his own thing. I'm pretty sure he's like consistent about it now that the Afghanistan thing was a mistake. I don't think
So
that he actually.
he said-
this is like a big. This was like a big talking point among like lefty Twitter in general, because he
It was
was
a-
like persistent about
no.
this view that leaving Afghanistan would be a mistake.
No, okay, hold on. Do you think that that's what most people on the left were saying when they were talking about Afghanistan? Like,
Okay, well, most people
so-
know what we're saying.
when you say a lot of people on lefty Twitter were arguing that leaving Afghanistan was a mistake. Do you believe that's what they were saying?
Saying, do I believe that lefty Twitter is right in saying that Vaush said that?
No,
leaving
not
Afghanistan would be a
right. Do you
mistake?
believe that that was being said by a lot of people on lefty Twitter, that it was wrong to leave Afghanistan?
Lefty Twitter doesn't believe that leaving Afghanistan would be a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm
that there's a
saying
fair number of people. Yeah, are they? Do you believe that that was the point that people were trying to make?
Yeah. Wait, what's the point of people trying to make?
Wait, are
I'm
you
not
familiar
far
with
left.
Dylan Burns?
Yes, I am.
Do you believe that was the point he was trying to make?
I haven't looked in his takes on Afghanistan particularly to know what his
Okay,
take
so
was.
the reason why I say this is because you're wrong, right? The take that most lefties were given in opposition to other lefties like Hassan was that we needed to have a better pullout strategy. All right, we needed to have a strategy when pulling out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, by
to be
like
able to...
staying there longer, and
Hold on.
it's either you leave now or you don't leave ever. That's kind of the issue.
Oh my God.
I get that. I get that point that there's a difference
we're
between
talking
those
about
two.
getting out American officials, people that work with us, some of our allies, and get them out with us. That's what they are talking about.
That's it. Then fine. But okay,
So,
like, I
so
don't
do you
I have an issue with that.
understand why watching a 1-minute clip of Vaush talking about, because I'm pretty sure this is Vaush's opinion as well. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, right? This is Vaush.
There's a change.
So hold on, yes, it does. Hold up. The claim that Vaush never wanted to leave Afghanistan is radically different than Vaush believes that we should have left Afghanistan with more of our allies in tow. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
No. I'm saying that. Okay. I'm saying that the clip I saw, because again, I don't watch these people crazy amounts, right? So if you want to say that that clip is completely out of context, then fine. I'm fine with being wrong. But here's the thing. That is different than saying, I'm pretty sure he did say, it would be a mistake to leave. And then probably with Dylan said, okay, well, actually, we should have stayed a little bit to take out our people and make it a little bit more smoother.
Or do you think that maybe there was
really
that
a
added...
smooth withdrawal is never really possible in a midst of war, but okay.
I don't know. I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm going to push back really hard now. I think it's really ironic you came in here, and the whole point of you coming in here was to talk about the context of what, like, all of Haas's fucking history, the biblioteca on fucking Haas, and then you're willing to go with a 1-minute clip of Vaush to be able to say that he never wanted to pull out of Afghanistan. Don't you think that's a little weird?
I'm fine with being wrong. I'm not like you people here freaking out over like being incorrect. If I'm wrong on this point, I'm wrong on this point.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that from what I've seen of the guy, because I used to literally like just like play his thing, like his white noise as I was like playing games, like Vaush's content, and then I sort of moved into Twitch by the time COVID hit. Like, it is different. Vaush is all about rhetoric, all right? He's all about like winning of the debate and doing whatever he can to win the debate, right? Haas has a particular view about particular things that he wants to sort of get out there through this whole debate bro culture, all that kind of shit. That's all I'm saying. If I'm incorrect about this whole like Vaush thing, whatever. But that's not a controversial opinion, is it?
It may not be a controversial opinion amongst like certain like people that Vaush uses rhetoric over actual substance in his arguments, but I also don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that Haas does the same exact thing. It's just that simple.
What debate did he do when he wasn't consistent on hot take he had previously, or you don't know?
What do you mean a hot take that he's had? I wouldn't use that as the barometer. I mean, why would that be the goalpost that would have to be made?
To like here's the thing.
Wait, because you're willing to double down on a bad take doesn't make you like smarter. You know that, right?
Not smarter. That's what.
Okay, so why are we hold on? Why are we using consistency with a take as a barometer for whether or not he's just like throwing out shit that he doesn't even believe in, or just throwing out shit that he thinks sounds good because he doesn't like think out his whole positions?
No, I think he believes in everything that he's saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not making a claim into anything in that regard. He may believe everything that he says, but that doesn't mean that he's actually using a good educated background to be able to come to anything that he believes.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the China bit is like I hate his debates with China about China and shit because he clearly doesn't know shit. I mean, if you don't speak in Mandarin, I don't think you should be talking, to be quite honest with you. But
what? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no, because he talks a lot about like, Chinese culture is like this, and they do things differently there, and you guys just don't understand. It's like, what the fuck, bro? You don't even know the language. You've never been to the country. I don't know how.
Sure, you could, I guess you could make that argument if that's something that you want to do. I don't think that you need to do that. I think it is weird that he is doing the same thing when he hasn't, like, himself been there. Yeah, I think that's really fucking weird. You haven't been to China, you guys wouldn't understand, and he himself hasn't been to China. Obviously, that's fucking cringe as fuck. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I also don't think that you have to go to China to talk about China. But anyway.
I don't know. Okay, all right. I don't know.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, bud?
No. I mean, just guys, just check out his early streams, his lecture streams. It's interesting. But anyways, yeah, that's it.
Yep. All right. You have a good one. See you later.
Bye.
Oh, I should have asked them if there was. They thought there was a genocide. I should have asked them that. Rip.
Used to it. I'm used to getting nothing but hatred. My whole life.
Okay, hold up. This is opinion that pulling out was good, and them wanting to make some weird arguments like Afghanistan were just waiting to be reform a small occupation. It wasn't just about a bad pullout. It was actually a pretty bad take and not particularly anarchist. Oh yeah, maybe you can link it to me. Maybe I misheard. I watched like a fucking 45-minute video of him saying the opposite, I thought. But yeah, if you want to send me that shit.
No, you guys don't know how soft you are.
So infrared is Tanki Hassan, correct? Why do you care so much about asking people about genocide? Wait, why wouldn't I? Whether or not somebody denies an ongoing genocide is really fucking important. What?
Until you know how much you take for granted the human warmth you get in your life.
Sure, 100.
Yes, he's so
I've never
smart.
had any of it.
I know.
In what
he is because
way?
he knows more than I do, Keko.
Hold up, I gotta check. Are you a infrared viewer? Wait, are you serious? In what way? Understanding whether or not a large swath of people understand there is an active genocide going on, you're asking me in what way is that important? So we can vote on policy, so that way we can engage in foreign policy to be able to assist in any way that we realistically can, and also so that way we can recognize that a group of people are actively getting prosecuted in another country, maybe provide them some kind of asylum, or to some other degree, or at the very least internationally recognize that that is happening. It's pretty important. Is it a hot take to say you probably have some experience or language skill before you speak about the Chinese people with the level of authority infrared does? Correct. I do believe so. I don't think it is necessary before you even have conversations about China, but in the exclusionary manner that infrared does, claiming that everybody else doesn't know about China and he doesn't even speak Mandarin or has never been to China? Yeah, probably. Dude, fucking... Hold up. Yeah, refresh. Dude...
Thank you, Divas.
Steam is such a piece of shit, man. I hate it. Steam requires that you, like, set a time for fucking updates now, and it's so fucking annoying that it's forcing, like, updates. It should just say, hey, you want to update? It shouldn't, like, force an update at a specific time, because that's what it's... Anyway. So, hold on. I saw somebody in chat say I was being super bad faith. How was I being super bad faith in that conversation? In what way was I? Is there no distinction from cultural cleansing in the dictionary term genocide? Or is it a narrative that China is doing a mass killing of them? So relatively speaking, when we use the word genocide, we're usually talking about the mass execution of people. When we're usually talking about a cultural genocide, we're talking about a mass execution of people if they do not fall into X, Y, or Z group for like certain culture. Meaning, so like, it's what I would argue that China is doing to the Uyghur Muslims. What they're saying is, hey, you guys practice an entirely benign, normal, perfectly fine way of living, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to say you have to subscribe to our way of living or you're going to fucking get axed. If you try and like leave these fucking compounds, if you try and leave these re-education centers or what have you, right? You're going to get treated really poorly in here, and you have to convert to our way of life, speak our language, practice, the religions that we sanctify or in the way that we think is good, and you have to act within the cultural bounds that we decide to be good. Otherwise, you're going to be deemed a enemy of the state and imprisoned or killed. That's the way that it works, which would be a cultural genocide, because it's like, I mean, just try and relate this with like black people. It'd be like if they said, hey, listen, if you listen to hip hop, and if you, I don't know, have your hair in an afro, if you don't straighten your hair, if you don't, if you have to speak in the most fucking white way imaginable, right? We can all interpret what I'm talking about there, right? Otherwise, you're going to go to prison, right? That's pretty draconian. That's not really something we would like to have happen, but that's what's going on in China. Isn't also stopping them from procreating also a big part of cultural genocide? Yeah, that can be. But that also would, I would argue, just be genocide. Like, I think that, like, when we're talking about the sterilization of a group of people, I think that would count towards genocide. And yes, I know that many of those people are being sterilized who do not conform to the cultural cleansing. To my limited understanding of his beliefs, I think he acknowledges the ethnic cleansing, but not the axing part. He does not, because Destiny had a conversation with him about it, and he rejected all of it. But anyway. What are good sources on this stuff? I get caught up on the Adrian Zen's meme. So I'm currently looking for really good sources of this. I found as a pretty good resource that will take you a really long time, but has a very, very good overlook at it is actually, Vaush, Uyghur genocide research. So this is a 6-minute video.
To be dragged in Re.
Okay. Okay, so that's the video for you. 4 hours of goodness. Okay, there you go. There's a lot of resources to be able to get you jump started. Okay. Hello. It's not working, buddy.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, now it is. Now it is. What's up?
Oh my god. Listen, so my mic broke. I went to a store to buy a new one because the other one didn't work on mobile, because whenever I got dragged in, it auto-muted because I was dragged in and didn't join the channel myself.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but it just works like that on Android, I guess. It's dumb. Anyway,
Can I address one thing in the chat before we get into it?
No.
Cool. All right. Is there any utility? That's a nice meme. Is there any utility in saying cultural genocide over just saying genocide of the Uyghurs? It's because the implication. So yes, and the reason why is because it's similar to saying like there being a difference between saying Breonna Taylor was shot in her bed versus shot in the hallway. And that difference is that like the accuracy of my claim and how people use the language will allow people to, rightfully or unrightfully attack my position, which could get more people to agree with me or disagree with me. If I say there's a genocide, what most people are expecting when I say that is that this group of people are just being shot in the street. They see you, it's on site, and that's it, and they're dead, right? And when I tell them, well, that actually isn't the reality of the situation, then they're like, okay, well, this person initiated in a position of dishonesty. So yes, I think there is utility. But anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, you said that, oh, you shouldn't be on the internet if you can't even handle someone calling you a virgin, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good rule.
So what part of the internet is infrared taking part in, mainly?
Twitch politics?
Yeah, Twitch.
Twitch
And
politics, more specifically.
What did the what was it, Twitch manager or whatever say? What was the banned word recently? Well, not really banned, but kind of enforced. Virgin and sim, right?
Yeah.
So the Twitch terms of service, I'm not from the USA. Anyway, the Twitch terms of service go against what you're saying, basically.
Okay, so first off, there's a lot of things that the Twitch terms of service say. There's just like not really that big of a deal. But one, but also two, it's not in that context. The reason why they banned it was in the context of me saying an Amaranth sub was a virgin, not just virgin generically as an insult. It's that, hey, if I'm like saying anybody that donates to a stream, a woman streamer is a simp or a virgin, that is bannable. Just to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, this part is kind of irrelevant. I just thought it was funny. But I mean, the whole thing, like, here's how first, I've started watching you recently. I'm mainly a Destiny watcher, basically. And I watch it for fun since I'm not from the USA, so it doesn't apply to me.
Sure.
So it's a fun mix of fun and politics and information, so I like it. Anyway, so I started watching you recently, and I actually liked most of the debate you've done. I thought you've done better in those debates than Destiny a lot of the time, actually. And, well, I didn't expect you to handle this discussion, this video like this.
Why is that?
Like, here's how I thought you'd go about it. So it's like, wow, this is just sad. I mean, there's definitely something wrong with his head.
Hold on. Okay, whoa, slow it down. I'm already gonna. Now I'm gonna come to his defense, or kind of in his defense. How do you know that there's something mentally wrong with this man?
Who gets so mad about being called a virgin on the internet?
Okay, hold on. I reject this. I full cell reject the culture of psychoanalyzing people based on this shit.
He said he has depression.
Okay, so depression is one thing. You're not talking about just depression. You're talking about look at the way that he moves, look at the way that he talks. No, fuck this shit. Fuck that culture. That is a toxic fucking culture. Okay, that's how we get conclusions that Vaush is like really weird about like women or like Destiny's got like a weird fascination with narcissism. Fuck that shit. I hate that shit. That's a toxic fucking culture. I don't want that shit propagated. And so I don't do it. I simply don't perform in it. I'm not going to go like, well, this guy clearly has X, Y, and Z or whatever problem, and then like run that shit. I'm not going to do that. Nor is that really an excuse to be able to minimize other people's issues. I also want to make the argument that's still not an excuse to be able to do the shit that he did.
Of course, I never said it was, but I don't think it's. I don't think you should make fun of that, or rather laugh at that. Because
what do you think I was laughing at?
Oh, he's saying stuff that other women or other people don't experience this type of harassment, and of course it's like no sane person can think this. I mean, this is how he feels. Maybe like I don't know. It feels weird to laugh at that. I just say like it's weird.
Wait, you think it's weird for me to make fun of the fact? Well, I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say make fun of, but I'll take it for the sake of argument. Make fun of the fact that somebody is saying that they take more fierce harassment than most of the women on the platform, all people on the platform, including like specific people like Destiny and all women, every single last one of them, when he was called a virgin?
Yes, well, first he kind of admits it that he didn't actually say it because he says, "Oh, I take the most harassment," and when we say no, Twitch streamers take more harassment. But it's different because, well, that means he already admits that they are taking more harassment, but they just take it and they're like, oh, it's fine, I'll grow because of this harassment or whatever. Like they say they deal with it.
So he did that in a deprecating manner. He said that they don't have their dignity. All right? They say that they lack dignity and they choose to have their dignity attacked. And this was in reference to him getting called a virgin. Right? I don't think anybody really thinks that your dignity is destroyed or even damaged at all for being called a virgin, right?
Like it like that goes to my point that I don't think he's mentally all there.
Okay,
like,
let's stop, please. You can't. No, I refuse to have
this logic work?
I refuse to have those conversations on my stream. I'm not going to speculate about somebody's mental well-being on my stream. I fucking hate that culture and I refuse to participate in it. If that's something that you want to do and something you want to practice, Godspeed. Good on you. You can do that shit. I'm not going to be trying to make excuses for people's behavior or try and speculate about the nature of people's mental well-being based on very shambly, light information that could just be that this guy just simply can't take criticism at that kind of level. Maybe he has a really fragile ego in relation to this shit or what have you. You could speculate all of that shit if you want to do that shit. I'm not going to do that shit because I think that perpetuates that same shit, that same environment where somebody could come in here and say, I don't know, because my mustache looks a little weird, that means I'm a fucking pedophile. Or that I secretly like, narcissism. or what have you. Fuck that shit. Fuck that culture. That shit is toxic. Deal with the arguments. Period.
I mean, I can come at it from the logical point of view. Where
Okay,
you
go
said
for it.
No one, like, here's what something along the lines. Now I forgot because it's stressful. Here's what you said along those lines. It's like no one should be offended by the word virgin on the internet. So like that pretty much means no sane person would be offended by the word virgin on the internet.
No.
Meaning,
That does,
if
no,
he's
it does
offended,
not.
He's not sane.
Wait, no, it does not. What my claim is, of course, there's people that get upset about being called virgin on the internet. This is why I made the Xbox Live example. It's just that you haven't been online long enough. If you haven't grown this thick skin, like kids constantly get that. This is why I said, haha, poo poo, stinky. Right? It's the same thing as that. It's the entry-level shit that you have to get over when you're usually like 7 or 8 years old on Xbox Live,
This is what
and you get
happens
over
when
it.
these college students take
Yes,
psychology
yes.
101.
So he hasn't spent enough
All
time
of
on
a
the
sudden,
internet. That's
everyone is a
basically what you're saying.
psychologist.
I'm sorry, say again?
So you're saying that he hasn't spent enough time on the internet, and that's it?
Yeah, probably. Probably true,
I mean, you can say that instead of laughing at him. I don't know.
Wait, why can't I laugh at him while I do that? What?
Because there's a chance. I mean, okay.
Oh
you
my
don't-
God, no shot you're about to
I'll
try
stop,
this.
I'll stop. Sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
like-
listen. I made the joke that Destiny was bi and non-bi yesterday, and you laughed at it. So fine, right? I'm not banned, okay?
Wait, what about that joke?
Yeah, I said that I don't know why Destiny gets mad when he gets called cis. He's bi and non-bi, which means it cancels each other out. So it's fine, right? And you
Yeah,
laughed at it yesterday.
Yeah, what's the issue? Wait, how does that relate to this?
So you won't ban me. Yeah, I was funny once, and then I said something that irritated you today. Okay.
Listen, I just had 2 people in here that my first interactions with them were like horrible. Okay, I don't ban people. It's very rare for me to ban people after these conversations. Okay, you'll be fine.
Monk ass. He'll ban me.
Ban him anyway to make a point? Maybe. Maybe. That'd be funny to do. No, it's like, I don't know. So just to be clear, when I said no, when I was saying no, don't try this, it's just because somebody is like, says that they have like, I don't know, let's stick with it. Somebody says that they have depression. I don't think that means that they could say whatever the fuck they want. And then that means that I can't like say haha or laugh at some things that they say. That I can never cover their shit again.
I mean, you can say like, oh, he says dumb shit about Uyghurs being not being genocide or whatever. Sure, you can just say stuff about that, and then he's stupid to think that or whatever. I don't know. It's just different. That's what I think. I was fine with everything else.
So I actually want to hear this. So let's say right now in my conversation with you, I say that I'm depressed and women don't have it as hard as men.
Yeah, I would think that.
Can you not laugh at me for that? Well, okay, hold on. While I also say that everybody in chat that says that I have a small dick is like, well, no, because that's more of an immutable characteristic. So that would be an actual something to complain about. Everybody in chat doesn't think I'm a Chad.
Hey,
so they're
buddy,
all like a bunch
stop
of man
debating
haters.
Rele. There's a chance he's depressed and this might push him over the edge.
Yeah, so like I'm wondering if because I'm depressed, can you not make fun of me for that take? You're saying that women don't have it as bad as men, but you're getting triggered by
I wouldn't do that. I would just explain. Well,
that's not what I'm asking.
First, you're explaining to the audience, so I would just say he maybe I'll go maybe he's depressed.
Okay, so
he
what
said that himself, so we shouldn't make fun of him. We should just explain that.
So you think it is morally bad? So
he's dumb.
Yeah. So you think it is morally bad to make fun of me?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Yeah. Because you have an illness that you can't control.
Okay, I just wholesale. So if Richard Spencer comes out and says he has depression, I can't make fun of him?
Not for the things that cause him depression, I don't think.
Hold on, wait. What if Richard Spencer says he's depressed because of all the black people in his area?
Well, you could talk about that.
I can't. I'm sorry.
No,
buddy.
no,
Sorry,
you can
buddy.
say it's
I'm
wrong.
Sorry.
You can say it's
I'm sorry,
stupid,
buddy.
but
I'm
it's
sorry.
not that
I'm sorry. No,
that's
gonna be. That's gonna be no shot from me, buddy. That's gonna be no shot. I'm not. I don't. Nah, I'm not gonna do this. All right. I understand your perspective. I'm just going to rightfully disagree with you. Okay. I hope you can understand. I know what you're trying to say, that we should take that specific, like, mental affliction in trying to say that we should be really careful around that. I think playing so carefully around that to the degree that you're talking about is just like, I just don't, no. I think this is incompatible. I don't want to, that's not me.
Like,
but, yeah.
There are a bunch of discussions with him on Zerka's podcast where people are making fun of him or whatever, and it doesn't strike me as bad because it's like you're not sure if he's actually like memeing or whatever, but here he's actually having a mental breakdown. He quit Zerka's stream. He won't go on there anymore.
Hold on. How do we know? How do we stop with this? How do you know it's a mental breakdown? How do you know he's not just angry?
He quit. I mean, doesn't that look? Well, we can only guess.
No, it's been perfect. Hold on. We can guess. I don't like the act of guessing, but if I had to be put inside of this dog shit position about speculating off of this nonsense, it's been perfectly in line with a lot of his shit. Whenever he's really fucking mad, he starts screaming for an hour and a half into his fucking microphone, peeking the fuck out of it. I guess the one thing that you could say is unique is this time his mic muted when he screamed into it.
No. 24 hours passed after the whole thing happened. And he had a lot of time to think about it. This isn't just like an emotional reaction immediately, because he actually quit Zerka's podcast, which has 2K viewers, so it's a big boost for him, I think. Like, I only watch Zerka's podcast when he's on. I don't watch him.
It doesn't. Hold on. What you're saying doesn't matter because he already said earlier that it's not about the viewership for him. It's about his dignity and shit like that. So you can't factor in. Well, it's like a really big. No, it's about his dignity. He's not factoring that shit in. Like, what matters to him is his dignity. That was his claim, at least, unless you want to say he was like morally compromised mentally compromised when he made that claim.
Actually would say that.
Okay. But... All right. I think that's it for everybody. You tap me out.
Oh, fine.
Okay. All right. You have a good one.
Well, have more debates.
Yeah.
See ya.
For sure. I will. All right.